Rabbi Shalom.
Shalom, dear Pavel.
We have received new questions, a whole lot of interesting questions, and we would like to know the answers as soon as possible. But I have to warn you, the questions, especially some of them, are very intriguing. I'd like to give a quick reminder to our viewers. The hallmark of our program is that Rabbi Boris doesn't know which questions we are going to ask him. No question is asked in advance or prepared.
Dear TV audience, or I should rather say internet audience, blog audience, I'd like you to know that they haven't even given me a hint as to the topic of the questions. So those who know me can tell this is no joke.
Yes, Rabbi, we like your on-the-spot spontaneous answers. Should we get to the first question?
Let's roll.
Why is God very often written as G-D?
Well, this has to do with a rabbinical tradition, which in fact has pretty good ideas at its core. It is based on a true fear of God and has to do with revering the names of God.
One of the commandments, isn't it?
Indeed. The rabbis didn't want the written name of God to be blasphemed. But how? In many different ways. For example, burned, thrown into the trash, torn, etc. By the way, a notion, geneza, exists because of that. It's a special storage area in a synagogue where the holy manuscripts were sort of buried. There were also the Torah scrolls with mistakes in them, the letters of some renowned rabbis, and many more that for some reasons were no more needed. But they couldn't be destroyed. All those things were supposed to be kept, even buried. And the hyphen in the name G-D, if I may say so, literalizes this name. In other words, it stops being the actual name of God and is turned into a combination of letters that can be read as the name of the Lord, but not necessarily. So it won't be the end of the world if something were to happen with that piece of paper or that material where this name is written. Now, one may wonder about the internet. Why on the internet are different Jewish Orthodox websites or some Jewish media outlets where Orthodox Jews are involved, even secular Jews hyphenate the name G-D instead of writing it with an O. Well, on one hand, it's an extreme. On one hand, it's an extreme. It's clear that no one in any way can defile it. But what if it gets printed? This is what they are mindful of. But from my point of view, even considering all what-ifs, it's another extreme, another reduction, if not to absurdity, then to legalistic twists of initially a relatively clear rule.
That begs the question. After all, God isn't a direct name of God. It's more like his title and is not the actual name. Why then they substitute the letter with a hyphen in this word?
In fact, it's a pretty complex question. The answer to it may sound plain and simple as a small comment to the one before, but in reality, there are layers and layers. I'll try to be brief. Technically, there's no such thing as the name of God that would reflect every aspect of his nature, as it is. All names of God are mere reflections of his attributes, or in extremely rare, exclusive cases, expressions of certain facets of his absolutely transcendent nature. That being said, every name of God either reflects certain characteristics of God to the degree He wants them to be revealed to people. Characteristics, attributes, tentatively speaking. Or the name can just mean that He's the Holy One, in contrast to polytheism, the only God as such. So this name God, or Lord, if we take English, or for example in Russian we say Bog, or we can take ancient Hebrew word Adonai. By the way, in Hebrew, Adonai has a plural form, same as Elohim, which is also plural. All these name words simply denote the only God of Israel. Except for Him, other gods can't even exist. There's also this word curious in Greek. It could be found in the texts of the New Testament. That's why these names truly and rightfully, especially when capitalized, are, so to speak, the titles of the one and only God we all believe in.